President Trump is right to say that people in danger should be offered help and safety regardless of race. So why is the United States, why is the president not living up to that? Right now, no refugees are being resettled in the U.S., not from the Congo, from Sudan, Afghanistan, Haiti. The only exception is South Africa, specifically Afrikaners, a white minority group of landowners that's claiming discrimination. Now, here's President Trump on Friday defending the fairness of prioritizing white South Africans.
If I see people in distress, I don't care what color, what they look like, what anything, their size, their height, their eyes, I don't care. But I think that from all evidence, the farmers in South Africa are being treated brutally. And it's been reported, and nobody wants to cover it, but they happen to be white. And if they were black, I'd do the exact same thing. And we treat people very well when we see there's a genocide going on. So if it's a genocide, that's terrible, and I happen to believe it could very well be. So we've made a home, and we'll make a home for other people that are treated badly, no matter what their color.
A flight carrying the first group of 59 South Africans arrived on Monday. On that same day, the Secretary of Homeland Security addressed the termination of temporary protected status for Afghans. It's set to expire Monday the 19th. Now, the Secretary of Homeland Security said in a statement that we've reviewed the conditions in Afghanistan with our interagency partners, and they do not meet the requirements for TPS designation. Kristi Noem cites an improved security situation and stabilizing economy. Afghanistan is run by the Taliban. Bishop Sean Rowe of the Episcopal Church came out this week to say it's wrong for the U.S. to make a home, as the president put it, for white South Africans, but then not do the same for Afghans. As a result, Bishop Rowe says the church is withdrawing from the U.S. refugee resettlement program.
We had people waiting on airplanes. We had people who have helped our country, that have been translators for our military, that have been patriots for this country, that are waiting in camps while white Afrikaners are being let in on a fast track. We feel like that as a moral matter, we can't participate in.
So a lot to talk about with Tricia McLaughlin. She's back with us. She's the Assistant Secretary for Public Affairs at the Department of Homeland Security. Tricia, welcome back. Let me start here. Despite the president's repeated reference, can we just start this conversation by agreeing that Afrikaners are not facing genocide?
Absolutely not. First of all, I have to correct the facts, Victor. You said that no refugees were let in. Under President Donald Trump, since January 20th, 8,666 individuals have been granted asylum. Those people have faced persecution for their politics, persecution for the color of their skin, their religion, and that includes those 59 Afrikaners who came in this country last week who have faced racial violence at the hand of their own government. They've had their land seized because of the color of their skin. There's been over 140 laws enacted that are race-based and to discriminate against racial minorities. So I got to correct the facts where you're wrong, Victor, and you're wrong.
So, several things. President Ramaphosa says that although the law was signed in January that would give the government the purview to take the land, no land has been taken from Afrikaners. Also, that's President Ramaphosa. He'll be at the White House this week. Take it up with him. Also, the definition of genocide is aimed at extermination, right? And so although there is violence in South Africa, there's violence against Black South Africans too. So when the president says that there is genocide, where is the evidence? The U.S. has not recognized officially genocide. The United Nations has not recognized genocide. And for the thousands of people who you say were let into this country who've been granted asylum,
Absolutely.
I'm talking under the refugee resettlement program, which the president froze by executive order early in his administration.
Victor, can we take a pause and
Sure.
recognize the fact that you are defending race-based discrimination? You are defending race-based violence.
I'm not defending race-based discrimination in any way. The president uses the term genocide. There is no genocide in South Africa, and frankly, it does a disservice to people in countries around the world who are facing genocide in the Congo, in Sudan, those who faced it in Rwanda and Bosnia and Cambodia. So when the
Exactly,
president
Victor,
says
exactly,
that
and
there's
that's exactly
genocide in
why we
South
were
Africa,
taking-
it does not exist. We should probably just start with that truth.
Okay, if you're going to allow me on your program, I'd like to speak.
You're welcome
Again,
to.
we have granted asylum to 8,666 individuals since January 20th, regardless of color or creed. It is quite frankly disturbing to me that members of the media, including people who are on this very network, are trying to whitewash the facts and whitewash the fact that these individuals have faced discrimination, racial violence, the seizure of their land based on nothing but their skin color alone. This is the United States of America, a land of opportunity, and we will help those who are facing persecution from the government of South Africa.
So you clearly are not going to acknowledge there's no genocide in South Africa. What about the genocide in the Congo? Will there be this expedited path available to the Congolese and to the Sudanese who are facing actual genocide?
Again, Victor, 8,666 individuals have been granted asylum.
You have a specific number on asylum. How many of those are from the Congo or from the Sudan?
I'm happy to come back next week and lay out all the single facts, but the fact that you have not addressed the fact that we have helped these individuals who are facing persecution, and you seem to want to whitewash the fact that South Afrikaners are facing persecution, and I can't understand why, and I think a lot of Americans can't understand why, and it's left to believe that it's because of the color of their skin, Victor.
So you suggest that I am the one here who is focused on color of skin when the president has let in Afrikaners specifically, and I'm asking how many of those who are actually facing genocide, who are from the Sudan and who are from Congo, who are being let in under some expedited path that the president has created for Afrikaners?
I don't know how many times I have to repeat this fact. 8,666 individuals have, if you will let me speak, have
You've
faced
repeated the number. You
are
haven't
given
answered the
asylum.
question.
I'm exactly answering the question. Regardless of color or creed, we will allow you into this country if you are facing persecution and you go through the proper vetting. You can be from the Congo, you can be from Rwanda. We are letting those in who are facing persecution, Victor.
I'll look for those numbers. Let me get you last thing here on this game show that's being pitched to the Department of Homeland Security. This is the producer who is pitching this. We've got some sound from him. His name is Rob Warsoff. Let's play what he describes this show as, immigrants competing for American citizenship. Let's play it.
I think they're taking it seriously. I feel good about it. I'm not the Department of Homeland Security, so I can't tell you the whirlwind of the last 24 to 48 hours since my pitch document was leaked to somebody in the press. I don't know where they stand exactly now, but I feel like we're trending in a good way. And I have interest from networks. I have interest from production companies to pair with, and I feel good about it.
And so he says that the department is taking it seriously. Is DHS taking this pitch seriously?
Victor, I receive hundreds of pitches a year for scripted shows, for docuseries on anything from TSA to FEMA to U.S. Coast Guard to Secret Service to CBP to ICE. We review them all thoroughly. We give everyone a shot to make their pitch, but this is still in the very, very beginning phases. Secretary Noem is not even aware of this pitch, or sure wasn't until this Daily Mail fake story came out that she was backing it. So again, I haven't even reviewed the pitch doc, so we'll take a look.
So you haven't reviewed the pitch doc. Has someone in the department, for him to say they're taking it seriously, he's had several meetings. Is this something, well, let me rephrase the question because you've answered that one. Why consider, after all that we've discussed, how serious who's being brought into this country, the refugee program, immigration, literally turning it into a game? Why consider that?
Victor, we get hundreds of pitches, pitch decks, and they go to one person's office and they're reviewed. Again, I've not reviewed that pitch deck. So for you to say we're taking anything seriously is just not true.
I asked if you're taking it seriously, but you gave your answer. Tricia McLaughlin, always good to have you on the show. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Victor.